T. Have you ever faced a problem so big it felt like a mountain? Well, today we're talking about a man who literally faced a mountain and decided to move it. This is the incredible, true story of Dashrath Mangji, a man whose love and determination reshaped the world around him. Imagine living in a place completely cut off from the rest of the world. That was the reality for the people of Jellore, a remote village in India. A massive mountain stood between them and basic necessities like schools, jobs, and most importantly, medical care. To get to the nearest town, they had to trek a treacherous 55 kilometers around this colossal barrier. For the villagers, this mountain wasn't just a landmark, it was a symbol of their isolation and hardship. Dashrath Mangji was a humble, landless laborer, living a simple life in this village with his beloved wife Falguni Devi. Their love was the center of his world. One fateful day, Falguni was bringing him lunch, climbing the rocky terrain of the mountain as she did every day. But this time, she slipped and was severely injured. Tragically, because of the long and difficult journey around the mountain, Dashrath couldn't get her to the hospital in time. His wife passed away from her injuries. In that moment of profound grief and loss, something inside Dashrath shifted. He looked at the mountain that had stood in his way, the very obstacle that had cost him the love of his life, and he made a vow. He declared, "This mountain cannot be bigger than me." He decided that no one else in his village should ever suffer the same fate. He would conquer this mountain. So, with a heart full of sorrow but a spirit ignited by purpose, Dashrath Mangji sold his goats to buy a hammer, a chisel, and a crowbar. The next morning, he walked to the foot of the mountain and struck his first blow. The villagers thought he had lost his mind. They mocked him, calling him a madman. "You're trying to break a mountain with a hammer." They'd laugh. "It's impossible." His own father pleaded with him to stop, to focus on earning a living for his family. But Dashrath's resolve was as solid as the rock he was chipping away at. Day after day, from sunrise to sunset, he worked. The sound of his hammer and chisel echoed through the valley. He endured scorching sun, pouring rain, and biting cold. He survived on whatever little food he could find, sometimes drinking muddy water to quench his thirst. For years, he toiled alone, fueled by the memory of his wife and his promise to his village. Think about that for a second. 22 years. Imagine dedicating over 2 decades of your life to a single back-breaking task, with no one believing in you. Most of us give up on New Year's resolutions after a week. This man spent 22 years hammering a mountain. His hands were calloused and bleeding, his body ached, but his spirit never wavered. Every chip of rock that fell was a small victory, a step closer to fulfilling his mission. Slowly, incredibly, something began to take shape. The villagers who once mocked him started to see a change. A small crack in the mountain was widening into a noticeable gap. People began to help him, bringing him food and water. Some even occasionally picked up a tool to help. His solitary madness was transforming into a collective hope. Then, after 22 long years of relentless effort, in 1982, the impossible happened. Dashrath Mangji broke through the final barrier of rock. He had single-handedly carved a path right through the heart of the mountain. It was a road 110 meters long, 9 meters wide, and 7.7 meters deep. This path wasn't just a pile of carved-out rock, it was a lifeline. The journey to the nearest town, which once took hours over a 55-kilometer route, was now reduced to just 15 kilometers. Children could finally go to school. The sick could reach doctors. The village of Jellore was no longer isolated. Dashrath had connected his people to the world. He didn't do it for fame or for money. In fact, when his work was done, he was still a poor man. He did it out of love for his wife and compassion for his community. His story is a powerful testament to the human spirit. It shows us that with unwavering determination and a strong enough purpose, one person can indeed move a mountain. The government of India eventually recognized his monumental achievement, naming the road after him and issuing a postage stamp in his honor. He became known as the Mountain Man. But his true legacy isn't the awards or the recognition. It's the road itself, a permanent symbol of how love can inspire us to overcome any obstacle, no matter how daunting. Dashrath Mangji's story challenges us all. It asks us, what is our mountain? What is that seemingly insurmountable obstacle in our own lives? It might not be a physical mountain of rock, but a personal challenge, a professional goal, or a dream that seems out of reach. His life teaches us that the tools we need aren't always sophisticated machinery or vast resources. Sometimes, all it takes is a simple hammer and chisel, our own perseverance, our own resilience, and a love so strong it can break through stone. So, the next time you feel like you're facing an impossible task, remember Dashrath Mangji. Remember the man who spent 22 years chipping away at a mountain, fueled by love. His story proves that the power to change the world does always lie in the hands of the many, but sometimes in the unwavering heart of a single, determined individual. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories of the human spirit. Let me know in the comments below what's the mountain you're determined to conquer. See you in the next video.